Today's broadcast is being brought to you by WokeSkipTracing.com. Look up phone numbers and email addresses with ease, with pricing as low as only 15 cents per match, not per search, per match. If there's no number or email address, you don't pay. Get accurate data in just minutes. WokeSkipTracing.com. That's WokeSkipTracing.com. All right, party people, what is up with you? What you gonna do when they come for you? Let me get my camera on. Boom, there it is. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday to you. It's about that time to get this thing going. I know the summertime just started yesterday or the day before. They moved that on us. And we got Father's Day weekend. Hopefully you all had a great Father's Day weekend for your fathers and for your mothers acting as fathers. What's up with you? Hope you're having yourself a great day. It's Monday Night Raw, real estate style. We do this show right here each and every Monday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. I try to bring on some heavy hitters to pick their brains, learn this game, and try to be successful in this thing called real estate and entrepreneurship. So go ahead, put your name in and where you're chiming in from. And we'll try to get you a shout out before we get started with the show, which we have some great shows lined up for you, which I'm going to give you a couple of quick announcements before we get this thing going. So let's see here. Next week, we'll be on with Miss Just Ask Andy. Next week, that's Monday, June 29th. Talking about how to build family credit, mom, dad, and their kids, and how to parlay it into an empire. That's what you want to do. Build up the family credit so you can use that, so they can grow up and use that, turn 18 and have a 800 credit score. It's possible. She's going to show you how to do that next week. That's the 29th of June. And then the following week, we got July the 6th coming in 2 days after the 4th, after your Independence Day, if you celebrate, popping them fireworks. Monday, July the 6th, we'll be on with Antonio J. Edwards, flipping houses in a competitive market. I know a lot of people want to do business and do real estate in markets that are actually pretty competitive, like California, Florida, New York, and wherever other places that you feel is competitive. He's going to give us some tips, tricks, strategies to help overcome some of those obstacles so you can become better at that, so you can get gooder. Wouldn't that be great? So that's Antonio J. Edwards on July the 6th coming up. Let's see who we got here. We also booked in one of my favorite people, Flip Man. He'll be on coming up on July the 20th, flipping contracts for profit with Ty, aka the Flip Man. I know a lot of people coming into the game learn a lot of the basics when it comes to wholesaling real estate, flipping contracts, flipping that paper. That's the person you want to get that information from. Ask Flip Man. He'll be on. That's July the 20th. That'll be a great show as well. Provides a lot of value to the community. So that's what we want to do. Don't forget, also, let's see, July, we'll be on with Miss Charmaine as well. You may know her as True Lawyer out of Chicago. She'll be on as well next month. I don't have a graphic for that, but she'll be on in the month of July as well as we got some other people coming up for you. If there's somebody that you feel should be on the show, let me know. Let them know. Let somebody know so we can get them on here and try to see how we can make this thing turn out right. So don't forget, if you haven't already, join the Woke Real Estate Investors Group, which is a free Facebook group talking about subject to, talking about lease options, talking about seller financing, and so much more. Woke Real Estate Investing Group on Facebook. That's the place to be if you want to be in the place to be. And the website is wokerealestate.com. That's the website. So all these shows that I just showed you the lineup for, if you want to be notified so you can get the notification. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I'm busy. I don't remember this. I don't remember that. You ain't got to remember. Just text JV to 31996. That'll get you the free joint venture agreement. And you'll be notified of upcoming shows as well. Open up your phone, put in the number like you're going to call it, 31996. And then just text the message JV. How easy can it be? And it'll send you a reminder every Monday night. How about that? So you can't forget. So don't forget, tonight we're on with Miss Andrea Stakes. She's in the green room. She's getting ready back there. She's swinging and bugging and swinging. Get ready to come out and drop some knowledge on the family. So that's going to be great as well. So go ahead, give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share if you care. Let's see who we got up in here. I plan on being here. Okay, yep. Anybody watching in the Woke Real Estate Investing group, hit that link. It's down in the description to say you give StreamYard permission. Then we can actually see your face and put your name up. What's up, Angie? Mr. I Stay Woke. That's right. It's going to be a good one. I'm ready. That's what I'm talking about. Big D, what up in the Big G? I see you. Georgia. All right, Joanne in Central Florida. What's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Mr. I Stay Woke. I see you. Nina Gardner out in California. You know it. They say Andrea is my girl, about to get it lit. You know we are. So like I said, give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share, and tag somebody that may need to know this information, because we're talking about virtual assistants. Everybody want them, but do you really want them? We're going to find that out right here tonight. It's about that time, y'all. We about to get it popping.
And we have Mr. I Stay Woke. And Mr. I Stay
Woke. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? This is the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Monroe, and I'm right back at you with another real estate video. We are multi-streaming tonight on Instagram temporarily. If you're watching on Instagram, you need to hop on over to the YouTube channel at Chris Monroe STL, because we'll be ending it in a few momentos. We're also streaming live on Periscope, streaming live on Facebook and multiple places, and we're streaming live on the YouTube channel, like I said. So let's see what we got here. Without further ado, let's see what we got to do. Here she is, Miss Andrea. What's up? How you doing?
What's up? How are you?
All is well. All is well. Glad to have you. I see you smiling, looking great. Tell people a little bit about your background. Who are you and what do you do, Miss Andrea?
My background, I think I have a rabbit in my background. Where is it? There. But anyways, I was totally loving that intro music, Mr. I Stay Woke. My name is Andrea Stakes. I'm actually based in Virginia right now until I think I'm heading over to San Antonio at the end of the month. So I'm staying in Richmond, Virginia. It's like, being in this city has been awesome. I don't know. I guess I'll start with, how I found real estate. I came into real estate unexpectedly. I was working 3 jobs. I was in dental school, and then I was on Tinder and I swiped right for generational wealth or whatever. It was super fun. I found out about it. Our first date was a real estate investing meetup, and it was so good to just see everything that was out there. And after that, I knew that dentistry wasn't it. I didn't want to clean teeth anymore, and I shortly after, I had jumped into it and gotten my feet wet, I decided to get a virtual assistant. And from there, just being able to train other virtual assistants and having people come to me and say, hey, Andrea, your virtual assistant, what you've done with her is so awesome. Can you do the same for me? And I was able to pick up on that. And ever since then, it's just been awesome. I've helped a lot of different investors with, finding their right-hand girl or guy. And it's just been a lot of fun,
Wow. So you actually found out about real estate. You said from Tinder, or was I hearing things?
Yeah, you right or whatever.
Wow. Now I never heard that. Now that's a story for you. So you were swiping right and swiping left and bumped into real estate. The love of your life.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So you got into the game, started dabbling in it. Next thing you know, you got a virtual assistant. So how did that go about when you started first figuring out, what is a virtual assistant? What can they help you with? Things like that.
Yeah, well, I was still working. So I had a 9 to 5, right? And I feel like a lot of people who want to step into real estate, they typically have a 9 to 5 supporting them. There's not a lot of people who just kind of go all in. And so I was using the money I was making from my job to pay for my virtual assistant. And, because I couldn't call all day. I was always at work. So, the goal was to have somebody to bring me in leads, so when I got off of work I could just call people who actually wanted to talk to me. So getting my first VA was something essential, and I mean I had no clue that it would just transform into what it has now. So
Wow. So it was essential, because I kind of came in a similar way. When I first came in, I think I was doing it about a week, and I realized I didn't want to cold call. So I want to hire somebody like immediately. Most
yes.
people say don't do that. But I mean, would you suggest that for a person that kind of new in the game, come in hiring people, or should they kind of wait till they have a business going?
I would definitely say structure yourself. That might be another huge reason why, because I was scared to get on the phone. Like, let's not lie. It's scary jumping into something that you've never done before, and you're like thinking of all the rebuttals, and you're trying to grab every script. Everyone's got a script that they have somewhere in their group inside of the file section, and I grabbed every script and I was like reading it. And I'll be honest, like I got my VA before I made my first cold call. And it was probably, I mean, of course it worked in my favor, but I will say that for the longest time, like I didn't even, feel comfortable calling my leads back, because, I feel like for somebody who's like, if you're busy and you're confident and you've made cold calls and you know how the process goes and you know why you're calling, you're trying to find like the timeline, condition, motivation, price from a seller, and you know how to run comps and give offers, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to outsource because I've already done this, then yes. But if you're just like, I'd rather just get someone on the phone, I don't want to talk to anyone at all, like you're kind of missing the part of the business where you have to be a people's person. You have to, connect with the people. So, I mean, if I would say the best way to kind of, come into getting a VA is just putting yourself in their shoes first, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if I'm calling or Chris, if you're calling, or if my VA is calling. It matters, more so about like your data on the back end, and do you even know how to handle something when someone's problem falls into your lap? So, don't hire an assistant if you're not ready and you haven't ran in those shoes. So.
Yeah, it can be scary. And it wasn't really so that I was afraid to get on the phone. I just knew I wasn't going to do it. I'm just a realistic person. Like, I know I'm not going to sit up and bang out 1,000 calls a day. I mean, I can act like it, but it's just not going to happen, and I'm a realistic person. Not saying that someone shouldn't do that and get that experience to learn how to train up the person and things like that. But Andre, I wanted to ask you, so we said something about cold calling. We know most people hire VAs for that. What are some other basic things that people would hire a virtual assistant to do?
Well, I mean, like if we go into real estate, I can say a couple different things, but I mean, people hire virtual assistants that are in different fields. Like I've helped people who aren't in real estate, but to move into the real estate space, I mean, really, you can pour whatever you want into them. I mean, a virtual assistant is capable of almost anything. I mean, as long as you pour into them and teach them. I've given virtual assistants who help my friends manage over 140 rental properties. I have virtual assistants who handle tenant questions and handle maintenance issues. And I have virtual assistants who do RVMs or solely do texting, or, like it doesn't really matter, what you want to teach them, as long as you are confident in that and you've built out SOPs, whether it be like a Zoom recording of you doing it, and you can, pour into them, that they will literally be a reflection of you. So it's the possibilities are endless,
Yeah. I actually made a video a couple of weeks ago saying, if your VA sucks, you suck. I mean, I don't know. That was kind of strong, though.
I probably would have cried.
Well, really? Because, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, I heard people say, I had a bad experience with the virtual assistant. And I'm like, well, who's training them? I just throw them off. And I don't know. And I'm like, you didn't take responsibility. It's your fault.
Exactly. And I want to say something on that. You're not wrong. And I know a lot of people that have been burned by VAs. Now, I will say this. There are bad VAs, and then there are good VAs, and there's bad investors, and there's good investors. Now, of course, like you said, if you don't train them, and then, obviously they say it's your fault. But the thing is this, sometimes the VA is bad. I'm not going to lie. I do 400 to 700 interviews a week. I've seen a lot of VAs. Like, I know when somebody's quality and when somebody's not quality. And there are people, just as you would hire them here, you know, that are just not the best fit, and some people who aren't ready to run with you. But the thing is that there's so many VAs in the marketplace that we're in, Chris, that scam people. And you see, I'm pretty sure everyone's had one VA slide in their DM and
about 20.
And Chris, I mean, you look great, but you don't try to say like they always, you know, they're out here and they're hopping between investor and investor. And at the end of the day, I gotta respect them. I mean, I'm half Filipino, I'm half American, so I know my culture. We're hustlers, but of course, you know, there's good hustlers and bad hustlers. Now, the thing is this, Chris, when real estate took that step into digital, like everything was like digital, everyone started doing online courses and everyone started doing RVMs, and like the whole YouTube started blowing up, right? Virtual assistants started kind of being brought into the space. Now, these virtual assistants, what happened is this: they started working for investors, and then, you know, an investor would train them, you know, teach them the basics, get on a script call and learn a dialer like Call Tools, Mojos, and Call or whatever. And then all of a sudden the investor would either go broke, or the investor would just say, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. Or the investor would just like say, you know, the VA messed up one time, we're cutting them. And what they'll do is they'll cut them, and sometimes, most of the time, without pay. Now, these VAs overseas, they're moms, they're people who need to provide for their families. They're taking a home-based job, and especially now during a pandemic when everything's closed. But regardless, I mean, now they're out without a job, so they're scrambling. They're messaging investors. They're talking to investors and saying, hey, you know, can you hire me? Can you hire me? And they're trying to find a new job with what little they know from the old investor who just kind of let them go. Now they say, you know what, Chris, since I got fired unexpectedly, let me work for 3 investors at one time. Now, what happens is they work for 3 people at one time, and you're like, why is my VA not showing up on time? Why is my VA so tired? Why are my leads like, you know, I thought I paid good money for these leads. What's happening with my leads? And that's a whole nother thing about VA stealing leads. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that it's almost our fault as investors for, you know, establishing that culture. Now, like I said, there are very good VAs out there, but you have to refine them. And that's why, like, for me, Chris, like, I have an interview process, and I don't hire anyone with any real estate experience. None of my VAs have any knowledge about real estate. They're nurses, they're moms that worked for like food industry, they're English teachers. I don't hire anyone that knows anything about real estate, because it really eliminates fraud totally. And then just as much as I interview my VAs, I interview my investors, because I got to make sure that my investor, on the other hand, is ready. And if they're not, it's okay, you know, because so it's a whole process. And my goal is to bridge the gap. Like, I really want to, the success of the people who work for me is a reflection of my business. So I'm really passionate about that, you know?
Right. So basically you're saying it's a double-edged sword. It's just not the VA. It's just not the investor. It could be a little bit of both. It's a give and take. Somebody has to step up and make things right. Is that what you're basically saying?
That's perfect. You said it actually way shorter than I just did.
That's one of my skill sets. Get it going. So you did mention a little bit about teaching them. Is it really, do you feel like it's the investor's responsibility to teach and train a virtual assistant, or do you think it's more so they should come in kind of knowing some things, I guess?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I want to kind of break down both things that you said. Them knowing some things, right? Like, I know that the SOPs in my business and my hiring process and everything I do is a reflection of when I worked in retail or when I worked in patient care. Like, the skill sets that I know from my old jobs are translated into this business. Now, the same thing for somebody else who's like, let's say I get an investor who's worked in nursing. Like, I just hired 3 nurses because they left because of COVID reasons, and they're in my program now. Now, they have a nurturing personality because they're working with patients all day. Now, this nurturing personality translates into them getting on the phone and cold calling. So I don't hire people with any real estate experience, but I do hire people with experience, because experience can transverse into whatever you want. Now, what was your other question? I forgot.
I was just saying, so we want people that can basically, do they have some prior experience, or do they also have some, is it our responsibility to teach them?
Got you. Yes, it is always our responsibility. Just as I learn things every day, I just found out that like domestic means like from the States. So like when they asked me I want a domestic beer when I was at the bar, I was like, huh? So like I'm learning things. Sorry, that's probably really bad. I mean, I'm 22. Listen, I don't really know this stuff. So anyways, but the point of the story is this. People literally learn stuff every day. Moving into a brand new field, I mean, yeah, you can train from the ground up. I literally train the girls from I literally teach them the foundation. Like, so literally the ground to the roof, like everything's different here in the States. So yeah, you need to take the responsibility to train them. And, at the end of the day, it's just up to you on how much you want to do it. I mean, some people, they have VAs who come into their business and they don't know nothing about real estate, and it's okay because all that VA is doing is just moving Excel files, cleaning things. It's task-based. If you train somebody and you say, you need to do this, A, B, C, and D. Now, I'm going to show you as an investor. I'm on Zoom, so like how you and me are on the screen, we could record this right now, and I could say, Chris, do A, B, C, and D. And then I'll show you, and then I pass it over to you, and I watch you, and then you do A, B, C, and D. You've just created an SOP, that whole entire video you just created with your virtual assistant. And A, B, C, and D could be literally like, here's how you text blast, or here's how you disposition a deal, or this is how you do this. You just have to create a refined process, record it, and that video is now an SOP that will live inside of your Google Drive. And you've just created SOPs for your business that you can use for VAs who come in as a lead generation VA to then a lead manager. And then you can say, you know what? Like, you're gonna go ahead and do dispositions. Like, you can do anything. Like, but you have those SOPs built out, and that's how you train them. Like you have to just So,
dang. So you saying SOPs? I keep hearing you say that. What is an SOP for people who may not know?
It's a standard operating procedure. It's a lot of words, but it sounds better when you say SOP because it makes you sound really smart. So, but basically, that's what it is. It's your standard operating procedure. So if your operating procedure is, doing this a certain way at a certain time at a certain day, you just have to stick to it. So that's
yeah. So that was one of the things that I did when I came in. I probably got up close to 90 training videos internally for the business. That's a lot of videos, and that's not even everything.
Your YouTube. Now, here's the beautiful thing about Chris Monroe, Mr. I Stay Woke, out of St. Louis, Missouri. If you guys go on his YouTube channel, guys, he literally breaks down you could take his YouTube channel and make it your SOPs for your business. Like the beautiful thing, and I've seen him grow. And I just saw you have an Alphas Only shirt on. It looks really good. So, so basically, SOPs don't have to just be like things for a virtual assistant. It could be, what is your SOP for your deal flow? What's an SOP for your data? How are you pulling data? Are we pulling data on Mondays for pre-foreclosure? And then are we moving into Wednesdays? We're going to hit our tax delinquent. And that's going to correspond with our marketing that's happening on the back end by a virtual assistant or by you. It's like you have to know a system and flow in your business, because if you bring a virtual assistant and have them run into your business and they have no direction because you don't have anything in place, at the end of the day, you're only hurting yourself. So like really take a second, like tonight, I encourage everyone, like I've worked with investors who are doing 6 figures a month. I have investors who have 12 VAs, and I have investors who have never closed a deal. And they're like, Andrea, I just need some help. I tell all of them, I don't care if you make 6 figures a month, like you make more than me, but listen, I'm still going to tell you like what's what. You need to take a step back and look into your business and say, okay, so let me make sure I'm structured. Let me make sure that I have a secure foundation so that if I bring on a team member, because this is not just someone who just clocks in and calls on your dialer and clocks out. This is somebody who's overseas, who's going to be passionate about their job, who's going to show up for you every day. You have to make sure that you have enough structure that supports them, because ultimately it will just increase your chances for success. So.
Wow, now that's what I'm talking about. Dropping bombs. Everybody that's watching, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share. Andrea Stakes, letting you know what we need to do when we're dealing with these virtual assistants. Now, Andrea, when it comes to training and preparing these SOPs and dealing with your virtual assistants, would you recommend a person to actually train them up in a certain way just for your business, or train them up basically in another way to like some internet, like you just said about watching my videos? Or should people just kind of gather what they want from my videos or whoever videos they're watching and create their own?
Oh, well, yeah, I definitely would say, there's no cookie cutter course out there. I mean, at the end of the day, you can spend $20,000 on somebody's mentorship program and follow them step by step. But there's always going to be a time when you will split and become intimate to your own business. Now, everything I do, like my script, I love Brett Daniels, TTP. I have a little bit of Sean Terry, like all of these people. I've taken things that I'm like, yo, that stood out to me. That really resonates with my soul. And so I'll snatch it and I will just change it up a little bit. But it's all love. Brett Daniels, all love to you. But, I'm just saying, like, everyone, if you see something and you see, what, that resonates with me, I think that fits my, in my business. I'd like to utilize that. I mean, everybody copies everybody, at the end of
it. It ain't no real rules. So basically it's the Wild Wild West.
So, but I'm saying, Chris, you're totally right. And that's a good question because, there's a time when you can take a script, but you can say that script all day. But what happens to the lead after? What is your acquisitions process? How do you close on these people? Are you the kind of person who's going to try to help them move out of their home and become really intimate with the seller? Are you just going to be like, all right, let's get this thing closed? Like, it's going to depend. How do you disposition deals? Like, it's like, you can take whatever processes you want, but there will become a time, especially like with data, like if you're pulling leads, there's going to be a time when you're going to be like, okay, this mentor tells me I need to pull this list at this point at this time, but you're going to know there's shifts in the market. You can take a training class on the beginning of the month and then coronavirus hits the week after, and all of that stuff you learned is irrelevant now because the market is always changing. You have to make sure you keep up with what's moving and happening in your business. Like, you have to adapt. And as you adapt, you are just creating a unique, procedure and process for your own business. And you should take pride in that. And you should know that just because you reference other investors or other people in this industry, it doesn't mean you can't reference them, put it into your business, but also build on yourself.
And you're right. I agree with you because I mean, like even my scripts and stuff has been refined over time. It's just not like, oh, it's this way and that's the end. No. And continue to add to it because we just started adding a new line about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I feel like it's been working better. Is selling something you've been considering, or you just looking for an offer?
That's the part, because then you find out who's really in that motivation, who's really truly motivated. It's just keywords and you have to play with it. And that's why tracking your KPIs is so important. And KPIs are not just numbers. KPIs are not just how many calls and voicemails did I drop today. KPIs are deeper than that. It's how is the data pulling right now from San Antonio? And am I seeing that these certain people need help more in pre-foreclosures opposed to Dallas? Like you have to just always take a step back and analyze. And yeah, there's a lot of hustlers out there. There are a lot of people who are like, I'm going to go hard and hit the phones and I'm just going to do it every day. And kudos to you, because most of y'all are making more money than people who aren't doing stuff. Now, the difference between the people who are hustlers, and I talk to a lot of solopreneurs, a lot of people who come to me and they're like, Andrea, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to outsource. I think I'm ready to bring a team member on, but I don't want to hire anybody because I'm a solopreneur. I've been doing this on my own, closing my own deals. And I'm like, yo, kudos to you.
I'm scared for that. I don't want to do nothing myself. Teamwork makes the dream work, baby.
But man, I'm telling you, like, you have to track those KPIs. You have to figure out where's your business going, because, if you just keep, you put gas in and you just keep driving that thing, you never stop to fill up and take a look at around your surroundings, you're never going to know where you're going. You're never going to have enough gas to ever finish and do this for the long run, because all of a sudden the market's going to shift. Something crazy happens, like another virus or something crazy happens, and you're like shook up. You're like, whoa, I've been hustling so hard at this one thing for so long, and I never adapted to the market and adapted and listen. You have to sit down and listen to your business. Like, your business not going to tell you, hey, listen, man, you got to really change this up. You have to sit down and listen and truly adapt to it. So
if it's broken, fix it. If it ain't broke, leave it alone, I guess, huh?
That's a Fendi fact.
Exactly, a Fendi fact. So when you say KPIs, like I say, I know we get people that's kind of new and kind of advanced as well. What is a KPI, and how does one go about trying to get that organized and figure that out?
It's a key performance indicator. So, you really should monitor things. If you're brand new, your KPIs could say, okay, I called 100 people on my cell phone today on my Nokia, and I called 100 people, and I had 5 people answer on a Monday. But then when I was calling those 100 people on a Wednesday at 4 p.m., I noticed that it was a lot higher. I had like 17 people on the phone. Like you have to just kind of say, break it down day by day, hour per hour, find out what, your key performance indicators are for each day. And you've created a overview of your whole week, and you'll know, when do you need to attack? Like, when are you going to put more of your energy on a Monday when you know your turnover is bad? Or are you going to put it all in on Wednesday and know that you're going to get that,
Yeah, I'm a fan of weekends. I don't know. I don't know if I'm backwards or what, but I just feel like more people answer their phone on the weekend. So I'm like, why we don't just call more on the weekend when they're at home, not doing anything, not at work, not worried about, call me back after 5, all that type of stuff. Because I don't like those objections. Oh yeah, call me back later. I want to sell. Sometimes we never reach them people again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's totally right. And at the end of the day, I mean, if weekends work for you, that's just what you found. And that when you find that, run with it, don't keep pushing something and just kind of going out here blind. And I mean, it's the same situation. Like for me, I have KPIs for my virtual assistant company. So when I train my virtual assistants, I only have 2 employees. I mean, I post pictures of me with like 40 ladies all the time because unfortunately these ladies come to me, I train them up and I let them go. Now they're always going to be a part of it. We always have an IT support background. We meet up once a month and I give prizes to them. Like I pay for the VAs to come back and we just do a Zoom and we do like a little game. And also I give them updates. Like when coronavirus hit, like I do a little bit of training. Like I said, hey, you're going to get a lot of sellers who will be like, you're calling me in the middle of a pandemic. Like, who are you? Da, da, da. And like, that's a new rebuttal that I have a coronavirus rebuttal. And it's like, you have to update them. So I'm not just bringing ladies in and throwing them out. And I'm not saying, okay, bye. Thank you. See you later. Like it's a relationship with every client I have. Now, I have KPIs for my business. Like I said, I have 2 ladies. One of them, she's my trainer, and the other is an observer. So I pay a lady to observe my life all day. So she literally, and so she sits back on the training and she says she checks engagement. So if any of the VAs are on their cell phone, like that's a private conversation I have. So I noticed like we've changed the system to the point where we keep them fully engaged. So during my training, I don't just put them in front of a PowerPoint presentation. I have quizzes. Of course, we have a couple reference pictures, but most of the time we're just engaging because you have kinesthetic learners, you have visual learners, you have audio learners, and I learned this just because of when I used to be a team leader in my retail job at Best Buy. I just knew that I have to train a certain person to use a cash register a certain way. I can't just like tell them, I have to show them, or I can't just show them, I have to tell them, and I adapt, and those are my KPIs. So I get a KPI report off of engagement, off of what people said in their end of day reports to me, like, Andrea, I really love this. So I'm always adjusting and updating my trainings because this is my business. I literally niche down in this virtual assistant business. So my business, just as much as yours in real estate, Chris, has KPIs. So
right, I would agree with that. Wow. For people watching in the chat, go ahead, put your comments in, put your questions in. We'll try to get them before we get wrapped up with the thing here. Post them in there and we'll get it going. Also, Andrea, I wanted to ask you, I know you said something about meetings. How often should one have meetings and or training with their virtual assistants?
Well, I talk to my VAs all the time because they're like my only friends. But I mean, listen, like if you're an investor, you don't have to really be there on a phone call for an hour every day. I would say this. Always meet with your virtual assistant. And if you've read Traction and you know what a level 10 meeting is, or if you haven't read Traction, but you've had a meeting at some point in your life with your boss at work, with other investors, like you sit down and you really look at everything, like, and this is a part of the KPIs. You can look at your KPIs, you look at everything that's been great for the week. Your team meetings can be as simple as, what were your highlights of the day? And what were your opportunities for success? Because I never say, like, what did you do bad? You always have an opportunity to get better, right? So, you can meet with your VA once a week, a minimum of once a week. For an hour, I like to say a minimum of once a week. And now I'm telling you this, for the once a weekers, like, I'm not saying you just like see them on a Monday and then you like have an hour meeting and you be like, peace, I'm not talking to you for the rest of the week. I'm just saying, like, sitting down to break down everything throughout the week, listen to cold calls, like talk about how they felt. Like, did you have any funny sellers? Did anyone say anything hilarious to you? Did anyone say anything rude to you? Did you have any calls that went like really well? How did you build rapport this week? Those in-depth conversations, you should always check in with your virtual assistant 2 to 3 times a day. In the morning, they need to tell you, of course, like this is kind of like that employee kind of stepping into it. They need to tell you when they're clocking in. You want to make sure they're reliable. And there's multiple resources, whether if you want to monitor them or not. But having that, hey, good morning, boss, like, hey, that those affirmations, like you're going to crush it today on the phones. You want to talk to your virtual assistant every day. I'm not saying like have a whole entire KPI breakdown and like talk about like the county website. And like you don't have to do multiple trainings, in the morning. It can be as simple as a 15-minute phone call, or even a text. And then having that nightly report, your virtual assistant will send you an end of day report, or they should be. And then, just things like that. Like you should be always in communication, but at least have that intimate conversation with them once a week, because it's just going to really just glue everything together and keep that relationship solid.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Relationships is the key to success. Let's see. Tamara over here on Facebook wants to know, what's the rebuttal for the pandemic? Would love to know.
The coronavirus rebuttal. So it's like off the top of my head, it's something like, John, I understand, why you might feel like that, but right now, due to other circumstances than the virus, there are sellers that are needing our help. It's something like that. I'm gonna look it up and make it sound a lot better, but it's just kind of the whole point of a rebuttal is to answer the objection and say, you know what, you're right. I am calling you in the middle of a pandemic, but there are people who can benefit from our services, or however you want to word it. But the key, Tamara, is always ending it with a question. If you leave that open-ended, like, oh, just because, we want to buy more houses during coronavirus, and you stop, they're going to be like, huh? You want to buy more houses? And they're going to go in like crazy, And that's when especially if you got a C-type personality, the C-type out of the disc-type personalities, the C-type on the phone, if you end it with if it's open-ended and you don't swing them back in like, hey, so can you tell me more about that property? Or what would I see if I walked in the front door? Like if you don't hit them like with something back again, they're going to ask you 5 more rebuttals, girl. So you got to hit them with that answer and go with the question. It's kind of like when you're in an argument, and that's how girls win. So
that's right, because he who asks the questions is in control of the conversation. Most definitely, you got to end it with the question. Huh?
I said that's a bar.
There you go. Andrea, how can I be as great as you?
Oh, Nay. Listen, you are already great. Nay's killing it over there in Charlotte.
All right. North Carolina. My brother's up there. All right. Let me see if we got some other questions in here. I saw some back here. I skipped over. I know they like, who skipped my question? Because I was going to come back to it. They said 400 interviews. How have you been able to filter through the good ones versus the bad VAs?
Girl, can I tell you something? Tamara, listen, you asked the best question. So let me tell you, I had 1,050 interviews last week, and I hired 12 ladies. So it was actually a lot. That was our biggest wave. I'm actually very selective. So I usually only hire like 4 to 6 VAs a week if I do it. And that's how many clients I typically will have a week. When I go through these interviews, so I can't give away the secret sauce, but I can just tell you. No, listen, you can find a VA anywhere. I'm not even your only source for a virtual assistant. You can find a VA anywhere. Now, the key point is this. You need to filter through, of course, their equipment. Are they properly equipped? Do they have a pleasant tone? We actually get voice recordings. You can request them to read your script, get that voice recording. I go a little bit deeper as far as because like I said, I'm Filipino. I get the whole entire, I get 2 forms of photo ID, passport, and I get your address. Because if you tell me that your internet's out, I'm calling your internet service provider because I know where you live. So I'm a little more in depth, but you guys can just based off their personality. So for me, I find out is your island more prone to typhoon season? Do you have a lot of internet service interruptions because of the island that you live on? What's your internet service provider? I find out their speed. I get a speed test. I find out different things about them. Where did you work? Like I said, if they have anything real estate, unfortunately, they're not the best fit for me. I find out I love nurses. I love English teachers. I love people who've worked in food industry. I love people who've done customer service. Now, the hardest part, it doesn't matter if your VA knows about real estate or not, because of course it's your decision at your end. The hardest part is breaking them and getting them into that mindset, because when they get on the phone, I'll be honest, Filipinos, we're submissive in nature, and at the end of the day, especially being a customer service, you have to be, the customer's always right. That's something that is ingrained in their brains. You have to break the mindset. You have to tell them you are no longer submissive to who's on the phone. That does not mean you're an asshole. Like, it means you're just, you can still be nice, but you are no longer submissive, because at the end of the day, you are buying the property. You are a buyer on the phone. Now, as long as you can break that mindset, you can sit down with 20 VAs, but whoever can adapt to that and truly break that, that's how you successfully hire and go through the interview. So how do I filter? Basically, I hire like 3 people who do go through every single voice recording, and then they filter it green, yellow, red, and I sent literally like 1,000 like 40 rejection letters. So like I have to like go through all of them, but we still give them the courtesy. Hey, you're not the best fit for my company, but in the future we might save your information, because I might open up tax related stuff in the future.
Right, leaving the room and opportunity for growth. And I know you just mentioned about how you get them. I have a question to go on the back of that. How fast do you get rid of the bad ones? Do you keep them on, keep retraining them? How long do you give them before you say, you know what, it's not you, it's me, you got to go?
So I think an hour and a half. So, and then that's it. So I've been very blessed and highly favored that once I decide to choose the ladies and they come to the working interview, like we had 20 people show up for our working interview, and we had to let go of 8, and we let them go in about an hour and a half, because I know who's paying attention. When I sit in those working interviews, I'm just sitting. I'm not talking. I have my one of my good like right hand girls. She's talking the whole time. Hey guys, da, da, da. I'm watching every single person. I look at where their eyes are. Are they focused on me? Are they focused on novella? Are they paying attention? Are they commenting? Are they punctual in their comments in the section? We do a lot of interactive stuff, like everybody in the comment section, drop a heart if you like me or whatever, like that kind of that stuff. And the VAs will say like, and they'll type, and who's the last person to comment? Like I look for that. Like I'm literally looking, how do their eyebrows look? I want to say something. There is a lot of ways to Chris, I'm done. There's a lot of ways to communicate. You can communicate and you can say a lot with just your body language. So I don't ask them 1,000 questions. I just see how they react to me. So that's how I do that final filter. And then whoever stays is people who actually want to be here. Matter of fact, most of these girls are getting paid with me, because I'm not one of I really pay my girls. I pay them $4 an hour. I give them opportunities. Most of the ladies that come to me have never had that money in their life, and I've been able to provide opportunities. Like I've literally been able to see my main girl, Rosemary, who's been with me through everything. I've been able to watch her. She got a salary she's never had before, but I've been able to see like everything grow. Like her background in her room went from being like a blanket. She took it down. She had money to paint her wall. She brought in a new chair. She was able to, she calls me and says, look, Andrea, look, I bought a new desk. Like, and then like these VAs, like I have a whole entire Facebook page. It's private just for like us and our freelancer family. And like, they're doing this like little challenge, like, what's changed since you started? And like, they're posting stuff and I'm like getting emotional, because it's just like, they'll post things like, I've been able to provide for my family. Coronavirus stopped me and my husband's work. Like I can pay for my kids. And like, it's just so beautiful. So
wow, you actually reaching out across the world, changing lives. That's what so you ain't no joke.
Yeah, I'm going to the Philippines too. So I'll be in the Philippines in August. So I just got everything ready for like that. And I'm just gonna go, and I'm gonna. Oh, this is terrible. Look at that. I'm gonna be reaching out to the VAs, and doing a massive hiring event. Just gonna go to the Philippines and really try to empower as many women and guys. I don't discriminate. You guys are great too, but like mostly women, because this job, this field, people prefer to have the ladies on the phone. But I've hired men, but I just really want to go there. I want to connect with my culture and just provide opportunities for these people, man. It's deeper than just someone who's clocking into your cold collar. She's it's deeper than that.
And Tia, yes, this live will be recorded and you can replay it, I hope. You're watching on Facebook. Yeah, you'll be able to see it. It'll be up. Let's see here. Any more questions? I saw a bunch of them in here. Let me scroll down. Andrea, they want to know, where'd it go? What does a VA cost typically?
Typically. Now, it depends on your industry and what you want them to do. I've hired virtual assistants. I mean, the cheapest I've ever gotten a virtual assistant was at like $2. Now, I will say that virtual assistant is someone who's strictly non-voice, only super data tasks. And I will say the ratio of me finding a $2 assistant is probably like 1,000 to like 1, truly, you know? Look at Law Clerk on Demand. I love Deanna. Deanna's the best. You guys got to visit her, Law Clerk on Demand. And so basically, I've had VAs at $2 an hour. My virtual assistants are at $4 because they have great tonality. Their accents is a very, taboo. It's like a subject everyone wants to bring up. Like, well, if they're Filipino, don't they sound Filipino? And I'm like, you're right, they do. Just as much as Chris Monroe has a twang in his voice, and as I have a twang in mine, I have an accent. Now, here's the beauty of it. If you want a $4 an hour virtual assistant, because it is the industry standard around $4, some people pay $6, some people pay $7 because the VAs are spectacular and they have skills. And I'm not knocking that. I don't hire virtual assistants with any real estate experience, but I'm not knocking. There are great virtual assistants out there that have experience, that have good heart, and their moral compass is set correctly. But it's hard. And I can tell you can talk to any other person and you can say, hey, tell me, you have a virtual assistant, you pay $7 an hour, tell me how you source them. They'll be like, I will tell you, they will not say they found them on the first interview. And that's just normal. And I mean, you have to put the work in. So my assistants are at $4. That's what I pay them personally. My part-time program, I have them at $6 because I do a lot of back-end stuff. But at the end of the day, your virtual assistant, at each dollar point, you will see the level of skill, and you can decide once you guys both come to agreement based off of the tasks they're given and based off of what you're providing them and training to grow them, you can take a $4 virtual assistant and have them working like a $15 an hour employee here in the States, because the beauty of it is that it goes back into training. It doesn't matter if you get them at $4. You can have a $4 assistant who works at a $4 rate, but you never train them. And then you bring them down and their work ethic starts looking $2-ish. But if you take a $4 assistant, you keep them at $4, they're pulling in leads, you're incentivizing them, and you lock up deals and you give them a $50 bonus, that VA is going to work for you like nothing else. I will tell you, my girls, I couldn't even put a price point of how they work for me. Like, I couldn't. So it's a long answer to your question. So sorry, I'm sweating. This is a lot.
It's live. We got it going live right here. So that's how we do it. So I wanted to ask you, I know you just mentioned something about that. When it comes to virtual assistants, is it better, or what's the difference in getting a US-based virtual assistant versus one overseas? Or is there a difference?
Oh, there is most definitely a difference. I mean, culture. So I do American culture and accent training for my ladies. But I mean, think about it. I tell the girls this all the time. If you were going to work in the Philippines for a Philippines-based job and you're calling other Filipinos and you're asking to buy Philippine houses, you're going to connect and build rapport with that person, not only because of language. So a lot of Filipinos actually speak English as their primary, but you're going to connect with them because you're going to be able to say, oh yeah, you're talking about that house over on Banana Boulevard in the Philippines. I know that house that's right next to the Jollibee. Like, you're going to be able to connect with them. But if you're taking yourself and you're putting yourself here, I can say if I had any of these investors I've ever worked with or anyone here, and they hop on the phone and talk to a Filipino and try to build rapport and try to buy a house in the Philippines, you're going to notice a cultural barrier. And I'll be honest, I do not knock hiring people from the States as a virtual assistant. Now, I will say it's typically better to hire somebody based off a commission here in the States. Like, a lot of people I know, investors, they'll hire people not hourly, but they'll more so have them as a commission base. And they'll have a lead manager or junior acquisitions person making like whatever percent of a deal. That's a way to go. You change the background, it looks so cool. But at the end of the day, the difference is going to be cultural. One, you don't have to train as much and pour as much into them. But of course, the biggest difference is the price point. I mean, the beautiful thing about it is when you pay somebody $4 an hour in the Philippines, you guys might be like, oh my God, like $4 an hour, that's crazy. Like, they got to eat. Oh, they're eating good at $4 an hour.
Really?
$4 an hour in the Philippines is like I don't want to like say I haven't researched the statistics, but from what I'm understanding, it's almost like having a government job here in the States. You know, being at that $4 price points puts you in that comfortable range where you're like, I can stay here, I can provide for my family. A lot of my ladies are the breadwinners, so
if somebody over there was making like $12 an hour, they'd be basically rich.
jeez. Like, man, listen, it's definitely like that. Because I mean, the average salary. I mean, okay, here's the thing: McDonald's workers in the Philippines get $1 an hour. If that translates for you in any type of way, aren't McDonald's workers here getting like 15? Like, I think I was making like $14.75 in freaking February of this year an hour. So like, listen, I would.
That's a good way to look at it. $1 an hour if you work at McDonald's over there. Okay, so $4, you're getting 4 times minimum wage. Is there a minimum wage there, or do you know?
You know, I think that McDonald's is like that $1 an hour is like that minimum wage, or like they call it the lowest of the low, and so it's like I think that it's around that, or it will be like you'll work 10 hours and get a certain amount, but as an hourly, I believe $1 is the minimum.
Right. Kelly Tobler out of Canada, watching on Facebook, says, "What programs to track the VAs? What programs should you use?"
That's really, really good. So at the end of the day, we're investors, or you're, whatever you're doing, you have your whole point of outsourcing is so that you don't have to be all hands in. So you don't want to watch them, right, all day. But you can use stuff like Hubstaff, like hubstaff.com. It's a solid one. I use it for my virtual assistants. It monitors. It's like, okay, I like to say this. You're going to love this, Chris Monroe, okay? So Hubstaff, do you guys know what Ring doorbells are? Like the ones that they post the funny videos of with like the camera people or the people stealing packages, and like your doorbell, when someone comes up, it like takes a video. You know what I'm trying to say? Now, get this. Hubstaff is like a Ring doorbell, but for your VA's computer. So like, you know how it says motion detected, and it'll go to your phone. You can like look at the mailman, and like if he's cute, you can look at it like for the whole entire period that he's there. But listen, like I don't have a Ring doorbell, but anyways, so when a virtual assistant starts going on the tabs and starts going on Facebook or going on like Fashion Nova Philippines, it'll send a little ding to your phone and say ding, you can look, and you're like, your virtual assistant has moved or done this and went to a site that's suspicious. You can see them there, and it'll send a little thing, and you can see what they've done. It records their mouse strokes if they're inactive. Like now, I will say this: when a virtual assistant's on the dialer, you have to let them know to move their mouse and like show that they're active. Because if they're on the phone for 10 minutes, it'll say, "Hey, your VA is inactive," but she's locking up she's getting a seller lead, So yeah. But if like let's say they're just messing around, they leave and they take a quick nap, or they go eat some pancit canton. It's like noodles. Like if they go do their thing, you're gonna know. So you can track them that way. I believe it's like $8 a seat. It's $8 a month. So it's really nice.
So does it do like screenshots, or does it do like real record?
Both. Both. Yeah, it'll record the whole thing, and then it'll take random screenshots. So
yeah, because I have one on Upwork, and they do a screenshot like every 10 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, you can do it that way. If you can just have it recording the whole time, or you can just do it. Whenever. But you always want to be, yes, we stay asking questions. I love the questions. Yeah, but yeah, man, like, with that, I mean, at the end of the day, you really, I love that. VAs are the future. It's so true. It's so true. We're moving into a digital like era, coronavirus truly, I mean, I'll say 2 things with that. Coronavirus has truly put people indoors, and now for social media influencers, now for us as investors, everyone's like, oh, coronavirus, no one wants to, I'm not going to go ahead and talk. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm not going to start marketing. I'm stopping everything. You're completely like, that's not the right way to go. Everybody is home. Everybody's going to pick up their phone. So when everyone, right now, when I have clients who like ask about my program, I'm like, Andrea, what's the best time to call? And I'm like, I would have said like 4 to 8 because everyone's commuting home or this. But now it doesn't matter. You just got to get on the phones because everyone's on their phones. It doesn't matter if you're doing Facebook ads. You guys are probably noticing a lot more ads running right now because we have converted into the digital age. Everything is done through this phone. That's a lot of notifications. Yeah, because we're smart. So yeah, man, they are the future.
All right, let's see here. Robert says, power. The gem she dropped alone has made my mind up on who to go to for VAs. Andrea Stakes is officially number 1.
Aw, thanks, Robert Carrillo.
So, Andrea, tell us a little about your services that you do offer. Do you offer services for people who have virtual assistants already they want to train, or do you provide brand new VAs to people who have businesses right now?
Yeah, well, I do a little bit of both. I mean, I have like my standard typical program where a lot of people will come to me like, I've never had a VA before, and I'll kind of guide them, and I'll like kind of look at what their business structure looks like, whether they're new or if they've been in the game, and then I bring someone into it. Like I'll match a VA via personality types and see how your work ethic is, and match somebody and put them there. Or people come to me like, Andrea, like my VAs, they lost their like shine, they lost their sparkle. They used to be so excited, and I'll pretty much tell them like, well, what did you do? And they'll tell me like, well, we stopped having meetings, or they just were doing their thing, so I thought we didn't have to talk to them as much. And I'll be like, well, you have to keep them empowered. When you empower somebody, you're getting them. You have a VA who's excited to come into work. They're not just rolling out of bed and turning on the laptop and throwing the headset on. You have to empower them. And once we fix that, I usually typically will help them, and I'll like sit down with their girls, and they love it, because then I'll be like, hey girl, and then they're like, whoa, like why is this investor talking to me like this? And I'll be like, what's going on? So tell me about, how do you like your job? And then I open them up, and then I really find out what's wrong. And if I find out things that I need to inform the investor about, like, hey, actually, 3 months ago, they've been holding on to this thing. You kind of snapped on them, or you said something that didn't resonate with them, or that wasn't lifting them up. It was a different way. Or if it was something like, hey, they're actually just really confused about the software, and they just need help. Like, it can be anything. I will help them, and I'll just kind of say, hey, so on the VA side, this is what your girls needs to do. On this side, this is what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, it's not one track sided. Typically, when it's that, and if it is, I mean, I'm very forward with it. Like, my goal is to, if there's a virtual assistant out there, regardless if they're from the Philippines. I know that's my country, like much love to the Philippines, but I've trained virtual assistants from Jamaica. I have trained virtual assistants from Colombia, from Dominican Republic, from Mexico, from Haiti. Like, it's like in Korea and Thailand. Like, I've trained virtual assistants, and some of them most of those VAs actually come from me, from family members, other people's family members, or, they'll come just because from other investors who have found them. And I mean, it doesn't matter if your VA is Filipino. It just matters, like, if I do bring them in, how are they bouncing off of that investor, and what is that relationship looking like? So I don't have to put them through my program. I'll be honest with you, typically I just talk to them for a little bit, and I just say one thing, and then that light switch goes. Because when you get that third pair of eyes on your business, when it's just been you two, you start to see, I'm able to pick out and see things that will benefit them. And it's brand new, because I'm seeing things that they haven't been able to see. So, Yes, to answer that, I feel like I'm answering all these questions so long. Yeah.
You got it. So you can't do no wrong. Used to call you Ari Drea, but we switched it. You can't.
Yeah, I changed my handle because I forgot who that was, so I just changed it to my name.
So yeah, you can't go wrong with your own name. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So people that are watching, we got about 52 people or so watching live on multiple platforms.
Are you serious? That many people? What the heck?
Yeah, and that's not even counting the replay people. Whoever watched this on
hi guys.
Give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share, tag somebody who needs to know some of this stuff here, and any other questions. Let's see what we got here. What is the name of the VA company?
Mine?
I guess they're asking about yours.
Oh, wow. Oh, can I actually say the name really quick, Chris? I'll tell you.
No, we don't want no name drops. I'm just playing.
Name drops. Okay. So my company, we're the Integria Freelancers, or as known as Integria Virtual Staffing. That's actually totally like a Filipino way to say something. So we're Integria Freelancers. You can either reach out to me directly, or I have a Facebook page. But I want to tell you guys, like, Integria, the meaning behind the name. You'll actually really like this, Chris, I think. So Integria, of course, it sounds like integrity. Of course, I really try to operate and move completely everything with integrity in my business. So that's, of course, why I wanted it. But it's not Integria because of Andrea. Like, it's because of Aria, Aria. And Aria is, I believe it's a Latin term for, like a female solo. So, when, like the Viking ladies, like when they get on stage and like you have the huge Colosseum, right? and the Coliseum's filled, and you have the orchestra playing, and the music's loud, and you have the lady with her horns, and she's singing, the only one on stage, and all of a sudden the music comes to a stop, and like the whole Coliseum is silent. Then that one lady, she's hitting that high note, right? And an aria is when that girl, that lady on stage, her voice is the only voice that's heard in the room. And when I first started my company, like it was just me. So I said I wanted to incorporate integrity and the fact that I was doing this on my own. And then like now I see all of these women coming in and they're single moms or like they're doing it on their own. So my company name is a reflection of all the people that have come into my life. So
wow.
yes.
With a creative name, you're getting creative. Like I like this creative real estate.
Whoa.
All right. So Craig Brown says, so if we get it from you, is it $4 an hour or is it $6 an hour? I guess is what he asked.
Right. So it's going to depend. You're saying the way I break it down, it actually is that way. My full-time employees are at 4 and my part-timers are at 6 right now, as of now. So in the future, I mean, if the price goes up, I don't want somebody to be like, well, Chris Monroe 5 years ago said it was this, but I mean, at the end of the day, I'm always going to be, it will only go up as the value increases. But as of right now, yes, it is. And there are other things I have, enrollment fees. But I mean, if you wanted to talk more on that, Craig, like definitely shoot me a message. We can talk about that. But
so pricing is subject to change.
Subject to not in the near future, but I'm just saying, like, I just don't want to like have somebody pull up Chris Monroe on YouTube and be like, Andrea, look, remember this? Remember you said this? And
that was a special for that show. You had to been watching it live that night.
Yeah.
Exactly. People do that too. That's why I don't be too quick about what's the price. I say, go to the website, go to wokerealestate.com. Everything's broken down. Whatever the current rate is, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Beautiful.
That's what I tell them. All right. So let's hear it. Christina Aguilera. Look at it. Look at little baby.
Oh, I love her, guys. Christina Aguilera, aka as known as Christina Spells. That is my big sister. Christina, like major shout out to you. When I first started, this was just an idea, and she told me that, I really got to dream bigger, and she's a huge part of my journey. So major love, Christina Aguilera.
Go big or go home, right?
Yes.
Right. Robert says she can easily charge $1,500 to $2,000 for such a highly trained and skilled virtual assistant. They will make that back for as long as they live.
That's true.
There you go. Michael Darby says, what's up to you earlier too?
He gave me the O emoji.
All right, let's see. Great analogy. Great. Let's see. Comments.
They're all laughing at me.
She's a beast.
Darby, love you, Michael. You're the best, man. That's Big Brother Darby.
Yeah. And let's see, exactly. They're agreeing with you. Dropping.
Elizabeth Navarrete out of Houston, Texas. I love her so much, you guys. You should watch her, follow her content. Like, she is just an incredible, powerful woman and she's super knowledgeable. Wow, guys, you should just look in the don't look at me. Look in the comment section at all these like people, like these people in the comment section, this community. I mean, network. I mean, it's so powerful. You have a lot of resources. Chris Monroe, I mean, the content he has put out, and I've seen him from his very first video on Kong. I called you earlier. I was like, I remember the good old days. So, I mean, the beautiful thing is that you have to pay attention to who's moving in this industry, guys. Chris has started off with Kong, and he got his first deal, and he has been literally exploding ever since. If you go on to Woke Real Estate, STL.
WokeRealEstate.com.
Yeah, go on that site and look at his YouTube, guys. Like, there's so much content and amazing stuff out there. And just look inside the chat room. Look at who's watching. There's so many amazing people you guys need to kick. She said, "Don't worry, go stop." I'm gonna pull up.
Thanks for tagging there also.
Oh, I have one of, yes, that's it. Integrity Freelancers. Thanks, Kai.
So that's the Facebook group there that people go to, or where do they go to actually say, I want to know more about how you can help me in my business? Where do they go?
Oh, I just have a Facebook page. I should probably do a website.
Or do they
yeah, everything. Yeah, the Facebook page. You guys can message the Integria freelancers. Shoot me a message there. You can private message me as well. I literally hired a virtual assistant to handle my inbox. So if I haven't responded, I'm sorry. It's just a lot. But I mean, I have my virtual assistant. She'll be going through my messages and then letting me know who's ready to get on. She'll be ready to get on. You're making me blush. You have to stop putting those comments. But basically, just shoot me a message. That's the best way to go. I mean, the beautiful thing is I have never spent $1 on marketing for my company. I've been super blessed and highly favored to just have all of my business be referrals. Every single person that's come to me has come to me. And from somewhere or the other, this is like the second podcast I've been on in my life. So I'm a little bit like, but at the end of the day, just reach out to me and I'll make sure that we shoot a message. And regardless on if I'm a good fit for you or not, my goal is to help as many people as possible, because at the end of the day, I knew when I had questions on virtual assistants or in real estate in general, like I didn't know if I felt comfortable enough about reaching out to people. But I want you guys to know, like, if we're not the best fit at the end of the day, I want to guide you, because there's so many people out here that are truly deserving of success. And I feel like, having resources like Chris Monroe or Christina Aguilera, Michael Darby, Elizabeth Navarrete, like people like those people have content, have things that can help you. So just message me anyways. Just slide in my DM. That's basically what I'm trying to do.
Slide in the DM. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Respectfully.
Exactly. These people get off the chain. But yeah, I would agree with you, because a lot of people try to come into my coaching program and I say, you may not be ready for that. You need to go learn the basics. That's why I put out over 200 free real estate videos to go learn the basics. You shouldn't be coming to talk to me about learning something I'm giving away. I don't want to charge you for something I'm already giving away for free. But when you need that hands-on experience to be walked through deals, talking to sellers, paperwork issues, whatever that issue may be, that's when the coaching program comes in. And I see you kind of structure it that way as well, huh?
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people come to me because of time. We're never getting more land or time. They're never going to create more of it. So, at the end of the day, you have to, if you value your time and you believe that you want to go with somebody like Chris, who can walk you through the steps instead of having to go through everything. Oh, look at Bella. You can speed through that process, cut through the red tape, go ahead. But if you take the time and you want to be that person like me, where I sat for like 4 months in, what is it called when you just be doing research all the time, you don't do it, like
analysis paralysis.
Yeah, that word. Yeah, that should be a dictionary word. So I was an analysis. I love that you just knew it off the top of my head. Yeah, but I sat in analysis paralysis for a very, very long time, and I mean, I was blessed that this business fell into my lap. But if you would like to skip through the red tape and just not have to do 1,000 interviews, I can do them for you. If you want Chris to cut through the red tape and not have to have all your contracts and everything like that, he can do it for you. You just have to understand that. Try it first, see how it's going to go. And if your time is more valuable and you have the money and you are comfortable spending the money, then invest to get your time back so that you can buy land.
Well said. Well said. I couldn't have said it better than that. Time is money. All right, let's see what we got here. Passion meets purpose. Andrea, you were meant to do this. Love this.
Thanks, Tamara. You're so sweet. Hey, Craig.
Anna Marie, hey, how are you? LA Real Estate. How do you spell your VA company? You said it fast. Oh, they had it on here. Integria. It's right here, right?
Oh, yeah. Integria. Oh, my gosh. The girls are showing up. I'm going to cry. Integria Freelancers. INTEGRIA Freelancers. Wow.
I think it's right here. Oh, there you go. The whole thing, so they can have it spelled out. So if you want quality virtual assistants, or you have virtual assistants that are already in your organization, bring them on over to Andrea. She'll get them straight, help you get straight, help you work out some kinks. And before you know, you'll be washing dishes in that sink. All right, let's see what we got here. Dope. Just like that. Easy.
Ida, how are you?
This was amazing. So proud of you.
Thank you. Elizabeth, Deanna.
All right. Thanks for the always adding value, Chris. Great guest as always. No problem. We try to bring heavy hitters to you to pick their brains. If y'all have any other questions, put them in here. We'll get them before we wrap this thing up.
Rosemary, thank you.
Can't wait to see you again.
I know. Hopefully soon.
Messed up all the things. So are you planning on going to any real estate conferences or anything that are scheduled after this
Yeah.
Rona?
Oh, for sure. I mean, major shout out to my guy, Antoine Campbell. Drip is coming up, guys. Drip is going to be incredible. He really put me on to virtual assistants. So that's a huge one. I don't know when it's going to be rescheduled, but check that out. I know, like, I'm pretty sure by the time Rona ends, we're gonna have another We Live, or we're gonna have another Ground Zero, and then we're gonna have another something else in Houston that Elizabeth does. Like, there's gonna be so much stuff. So I'm just gonna be there wherever it happens, but I'm just ready. You know, somebody throw an event, just invite me. I'm ready to go. Like, I like networking, and like also there's a lot, like, usually free food. So like, I mean, I'm just there.
And a lot of people don't know I'm a member of every RIA in St. Louis. I think it's like 7 or 8 of them. I don't know. And I go to all of them. So, but I haven't been able to go because of the Rona. So it's like,
Definitely gone. I know it's all virtual, but I can't wait. I think we're going to do like an investor brunch in San Antonio, hopefully the end of next month. So, I mean, just right now, little small gatherings, and hopefully soon when big conferences come up, I'll be able to see all of you. Like I love to bounce around and see who's out there. So.
wow, they're giving you major shout outs. Chris with the K says Andrea is the bomb.com. Definitely trust her with highly trained VAs.
Chris, that is my other Filipina sister, mabuhay, and much love to you. Thank you so much, girl. Man, I'm just so blessed. There's so many people who have, she said, slide her DMs. Not that, don't slide too fast. Just please, just say at least first, like, or hey, good afternoon. Thank you, Lisa.
To watch, loved her from day one. Yes. Yeah. I mean, and I knew from day one too that your energy just kind of matched mine. You're just positive, upbeat. You just go on and do things, you know, and that's the mentality I have. You never see me worried about nothing.
I appreciate that, man. That's why I knew that this was going to be good energy. It's always love. So I'm happy to be here, Chris, like seeing your growth and then always supporting me. I think that's the beauty in it. Like, I feel like it's not always a competition, even with other VA providers. Like, it's always love, and I have major respect for everyone, you know? So.
Right. I know that's right. Let's see. They say, Tasha. What's up? Tasha says, it makes sense. That's what we do. They redid the wording for you there. A couple people put it up for.
Wow, you guys, that's a lot.
Look at that. Hello, Mia Coral. All right. Here we go. Great. Pretty.
Hi, Bella. You guys are so. Those are my two girls. Don't be going
trying to go. Know it. All right. So that's gonna. I'm gonna. Anything else that you want to let the people know before we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, man. It's past my bedtime. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. I can't believe that you said 50 people. That's a lot of people. Like
62 in here right now. It went up. It was like almost 70 at one time. But we're on multiple platforms. So we're on Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, and the Woke Real Estate Investors Group. And this whole stream here will be reposted up as a podcast on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and all those other podcast sites.
Mama, I made it to Apple Music. I wanted to be like a singer, but I'll tell my mom, like, it's not the same, but but I don't know. I guess to wrap everything up, I appreciate every single person that's been a part of my journey. This has been a crazy ride. I truly found something I'm passionate about. And at the end of the day, regardless if you think a virtual assistant's a fit or for you or not, you know, just make sure that the way you're operating and whoever's on your team, it doesn't matter if they're a junior acquisitions person or somebody who's just coming into the business as someone who's in a third world country, thousands of miles away, helping you make thousands of dollars. It doesn't matter who it is. Just make sure you're moving ethically. Your moral compass is always set straight, and pour into your employees. It doesn't matter if they're based in the US or not. Pour into them, because they were always going to be a reflection of you. So
most definitely. That's a great one, a great nugget bomb for them. It's a reflection. So definitely keep the connection. So I want to say thank you, Andrea, for coming on. And we'll get you back on in the future to get an update on something later. I don't know what you got coming. What you got cooking. You got anything whipping up in the kitchen we should know about?
Something. Yeah, man. Cooking it with coconut oil. Trying to get slim thick or whatever. It's hard out here.
It's hard out here for a pimp. I know that's right. I hope to see you when you come to St. Louis in a couple of weeks, right? Or whenever.
I'll see you soon. Yeah, first week of August, I'll be there.
Great. Perfect. All right. So let me get this here. Hold on one second. Take me off.
Ooh, that's a big.
Say I put you up. All right, so that's how we do it, family. Right here, each and every Monday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, do so. If you haven't put the notification on already, do so. We bring heavy hitters to you each and every week, talking about all types of real estate, creative things, and try to provide value to the community. That's what we're here to do each and every week for you. Don't forget, we're on next week with Miss Andy Thibault. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Just Ask Andy, talking about credit, how to build that family credit. Mom, dad, and their kids. Make sure you're tuned in for that. The following week, we're on with Mr. Antonio J. Edwards. Got a lot of YouTube videos as well. A big community provider there. We're going to be on with him on Monday, July the 6th, 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you're back for that. Also, July the 20th, Flip Man. You know what he can, or whatever the song say. He'll be on right here, 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. We got the Flip Man, Ty, a.k.a. the Flip Man. He'll be on. Then the 27th of July, I think we booked Charmaine, True Lawyer out of Chicago. She'll be on helping us out with some of this real estate talk as well. Like I said, if you haven't already, join the free Facebook group, Woke Real Estate Investors on Facebook, talking about the subject too, talking about lease options, talking about seller financing, and so much more. Learn everything you need to learn for free in the Woke Real Estate Investors group. And if you want to get the more information or more services or more contracts, cool gear, or coaching, check out wokerealestate.com. Wokerealestate.com. Everything you need for your business as far as real estate, getting leads, getting skip tracing, and more. So let me see here. Any other last minute comments here? Thank you. No problem. Chris, you rock, and so does Andrea. Yep, you got it. Grapeseed oil is good. Look at you, knowing all this woke stuff. I be using that, what I use, coconut oil too. Thanks, this was great info. No problem, Denise, good to see you. I just subscribed. Thanks for the great show. It's my first time tuning in. Yes, we want you on the show as well. You on a chopping block soon too. I'm coming for you too. She's like, what? Thanks, guys. I enjoyed this beautiful energy. Learned a lot. Great. Integria Freelancers. That's right. That's her thing. Go ahead and check her out on Facebook if you want to get more information on the virtual assistant services, or just, see if there's something that, if you're a match for her services or not. You never know. You don't know until you try. You got to try. All right. Let's see what we got here. So that's going to do it for tonight. Like I said, give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share. Even if you're watching on a replay, leave a smart comment. Let me know you came through. Do what you do. Be who you be. And I'll see you. You, right there. You. Before you see me.
And we have Mr. I Stay Woke. And Mr. I Stay.
Today's broadcast is being brought to you by WokeSkipTracing.com. Look up phone numbers and email addresses with ease, with pricing as low as only 15 cents per match. Not per search, per match. If there's no number or email address, you don't pay. Get accurate data in just minutes. WokeSkipTracing.com. That's WokeSkipTracing.com.